Hello, everyone. Hasbro did another Transformer fan stream over on their Pulse YouTube channel, so it is my duty as a Transformers YouTuber to actually go over it, give my thoughts, and if you missed it, well, how could you miss it? It was all over the place. But hey, we can go over, we can evaluate some things, and we can nitpick and dissect all the little things they said as if as if there's actual meaning to them and not just marketing buzzwords. So let's begin very quickly. The first thing they showed off was the virtual reality experience you can get at Dave and Buster's right now. Or it said right now. I haven't been to a Dave and Buster's to check. It looks pretty typical VR shtick stuff. Nothing like terribly groundbreaking going on here. It's nice to see a lot of original model work. It looks fine. It looks fine. Like it looks like something I would check out next time I'm at Dave and Buster's, whenever that's going to be. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Like it's not terribly thrilling. I guess it's not terribly thrilling for me because uh they didn't really show off a whole lot. They showed off a couple little action shots. They mentioned that they got Peter Cullen, Frank Welker, and Dave Berger to come back and do the characters they're known for. But that's about it. That's about it. We didn't even, we got like 10 seconds of footage and no like actual gameplay. It looked like you don't even know what you're doing in the game. So how can I get really like that excited for it? But okay, so fine. Decepticon Invasion. I will give it a try. If I will be back, and I will next if I actually get to go to Dave and Buster's. And there's reasons why I don't really want to go to Dave and Buster's. Um, I'll let you know how it was. Moving on, they did talk about the tubs, the little ducks from Numbskull. And we've already talked about these. They're cute and adorable, and it's funny that they're doing them. And I hope they do well because we can get more. We also already talked about the Lego set for Optimus Prime. Still haven't gotten it because I've got a convention coming up, so dropping 170 bucks doesn't seem very prudent right now. But it's cool that they just had to get it out on their media. They had to talk about it. Let's talk about actual toy reveals because this is the actual cool stuff. So some of it we've already seen, of course we have, but I'm actually surprised there's some things they kept under wraps really well, and they were really nice surprises. So good job on you, Hasbro. Let's keep track of what we've seen and what we haven't. So we've already seen IDW Blur. That one did leak. So Leakers 1, Hasbro 0. Uh, it still looks really, really cool. I liked getting to hear the explanation. I do like getting to hear some of the explanations of some of these toys and like how they got designed the way they did. So even though the reveals aren't as exciting, it's good to hear a little bit from the actual designers, and find out what was important to them and what they had to go through to get things the way that they needed to be. So IDW Blur came out great. Uh, yeah, I do like the new head sculpt. I do love the new vehicle mode. I still don't know if it's one I'm going to get. I like it, but I don't know if I'm buying it. I'm still in that little thing. And they had to remind people like it's in like the pack. They have to remind people now that the accessories are in a little tissue wrap in the back of the box. Please do not throw parts away. But yeah, still super cool. We've already talked about Blur here, so we don't need to go over it too much. The Velocitron packaging, by the way, is still gorgeous. I still absolutely love it. I love how like we're going through a little bit of Cybertron homaging here, and we've gone back to the wide boxes, except that was a Armada Energon thing, not this, obviously. But yeah, it's just cool. I love that there's a completely different feel to the line. All right, we finally got to see Burnout. Burnout cast as a female this time, a homage to the black tracks from or black skids from Diaclone. Excuse me. I wish there was a little bit more done with this one because that's a lot of flat black. That's a lot of flat black going on here. I know it's homaging the original toy, which is mostly the same, but man, I could use some extra, maybe some fake stickers. I could use some a little bit more embellishing to the original deco. How about some different stripes? Like, did you have to go with the same stripes that are on skids? That seems unfortunate. It's also the same head as Crosscut got. And they made a point that this was the Crosscut head on the Skid's body, which makes me think Crosscut's going to have more retooling to it than just a simple head swap, which would actually be a welcome experience. It would make this one stand out a little bit. I just feel like they could have done a little bit more with the deco to make it more interesting. I mean, it's fine. I also don't know why there is a minivan in the in a race. I know it's not a minivan. It's just a very square. It's a very square compact car from Japan. It looks like a minivan. I'm being incorrect intentionally here because I find it funny. But it's not a bad little. It's another Diaclone homage. So if you're collecting the Diaclone releases, here's another one for it. It's not bad. It just feels like it could have been more. I wish it could have been just a little. I wish it had a little bit more pop to it. Is all. And I'm going to come back to this point later on, because there is something else to this that does get on my nerve. There's another element of this that gets on my nerves. So I will go into that when we get to it. So that's all fine. We finally got Road Rocket, which we knew was coming but hadn't leaked. So 1-to-1, it looks nice. It looks nice. The mold does look good in red. The ninja head definitely helps a lot. And yeah, we can see the wheels on the back the way that they were intended to be. So that is nice. I like the ninja star being added to the axe. That adds a little bit of a ninja flair to it. Yeah, so they've done pretty well reimagining the character. And yeah, it was an expected release, not a bad one though. All right, so Clamp Down we've already seen before too, and like I said before, this just feels really dull. It looks like I joined in halfway through, so when I saw this version, I'm like, wait, they're doing RID Prowl? What? No, 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 no. It's another Diaclone. Um, yeah, it's just, again, I just feel like it's a really dull deco. They put it next to Red Alert for one of these shots. Yeah, and I do like admit that like some of the deco changes they've made do separate it a little bit from Red Alert. It still feels very much like Red Alert. At least to me. I really wish I don't know. I'm just like burned out on repaints of Sideswipe because it seems like the Siege mold came with like all of the different figures. They did Tiger Track, they did Clamp Down, uh, they did a lot. They did a lot with that mold, and it just seems like now they've got the Earth version. They're doing the whole thing again. We had like a black deep cover and a blue deep cover. Why? I don't. I don't know. So maybe I'm just getting burned out. This was the big one. So we knew Cosmos was coming. We had the Walmart listings in the computer that said that a new Cosmos was going to be in the Velocitron line. I think everyone was predicting, because it is a retail exclusive line, it was going to be a remold of Origin Bumblebee. Everyone, I assume, pleasantly surprised when it turns out to be a very G1 Cosmos with a very thick, dumpy robot mode. I will be honest, I could actually go for a little more dump in this trunk. This is good. He looks great. It's the best Cosmos we've ever gotten, but I could still go for him being just like a really squat wide character. This one is a little bit taller, a little bit stretched out. I understand that means the engineering is a little bit more like typical, a little bit easier for them to figure out, and that allows for better articulation. I understand, like, there's reasons why he's not like squat, but it is close. It's far closer than we've ever gotten. So a nice G1 accurate Cosmos is a great thing to see. The spaceship mode is a little bit embellished. Just I wish there was a way to flatten that can, but hey, it's a 50s flying saucer. Who am I to judge, right? The flag amuses me. I they try they try really hard to turn negatives into positives in these streams. So they made a point that, like, you can turn the flag around and now it's a white flag, like he's surrendering. And no. One, very un-Autobot, but also two, they're trying to make a plus out of the fact that they only tampergraphed one side of the flag. It's fine. That's fine. I guess if you're posing it with the flag, you're only gonna have one side out anyway, so you might as well give the option. Whatever. I don't care. It's just a dumb little accessory. I love the fact that it's a proper Cosmos. That's what I'm into it for, and it does make me very, very happy to see. Good on them for keeping it under wraps. There's been no early leak or review or photos of this thing or anything. We were still speculating yesterday that it was going to be Origin Bumblebee. So good on you, Hasbro. You kept that one under wraps well. Road Hauler, we've known. We knew that one's coming for a while. I think even if you didn't see the leaked listings, you knew Road Hauler was going to be on the way. They did explain that he's a wrecker truck for the race, so that is why he is in this toy line rather than this. It is amusing to me how they're trying to work all these random vehicles in. Like, a crane truck in a race-themed line? He's a wrecker truck. Okay, good. Wait, a spaceship? Like a flying saucer? Oh, he's the flag bearer. He's the official for the race. Okay, so you're putting in all the roles now. So it's a creative way of twisting everything around. So we don't need to go too hard on him. We've seen him. We've seen Override as well. They made a point to mention that they tried to get light piping in, but it was on the red mold. It was in the translucent red, so they had to paint the eyes instead. Why did you try light piping in the first place if you knew it was going to be on the red mold? I mean, was there any universe where this was actually going to come out? I guess it is possible they could have gotten it done in translucent blue, but it turned out like they had to do it in red. This is the kind of thing that bugs me. This is a deluxe toy being done at Voyager, and we can see the deco is really nice for a deluxe, and that's where like the extra money for the price point is going. But as long as you've got that extra budget, you could really spring for something like multiple translucent plastics, or like a partial injection for the blue and then the rest in red. You've seen model kits that do that. This is like it's a minor quibble. Like I prefer painted eyes personally. But yeah, she still looks great. She still looks absolutely awesome still. But she came with a cyber key, even if it doesn't work. But it is great to see her back. It's great to see how like well done the toy is. You can see she's just a deluxe, unfortunately. But she looks like she's gonna be a fantastic one. Alright, this is the one that bugged me. So we've talked about him already. We've talked about Black Convoy, all this. What I need is front of the box where, yes, he is Robots in Disguise 2000 Universe Scourge. This bothers me. This bothers me a lot. So the original theory was that the listing said Black Convoy, specifically because they were going to do this version of the toy, and then later on we were going to get a proper RID Scourge with the red chest and the deco and the chest windows, and it was actually going to look correct. No, they just radically changed the character's color scheme for no apparent reason. Great. Thank you. That makes sense. This is why Burnout gets on my nerves. All right. So I like Burnout as in it is an atypical female character. I'm glad that they actually went that direction. What I don't like on Burnout is how strict they were about it just being a black skids when they go and do something like this and call it RID Scourge when it is not RID Scourge. It's the right mold and colors, but you didn't put the colors in the right spots. You could give it a different designation, and I would believe that. And this guy's on the call. This guy's on the Zoom call going like, well, I wanted those upside down Autobot symbols. I was a real stickler for that. Like, I'm glad you're paying attention. Did you once look at the deco of the character? I'm getting way too angry about this. It's so weird to me that they take a legacy character that people really, really love, and they intentionally make it inaccurate when they didn't have to, and then they go and do some super obscure Diaclone character, and they are completely strict to it instead of playing around and coming up with something new. The priorities are completely switched, and I don't know why. You know, it just seems completely backwards to me. I'm still not a fan of this, but now it looks like we're all on the hook for it, because now it looks like we're definitely only going to get this version, which sucks, because we really should be getting better. I don't want to say deserve, because that's a self-entitled fan thing. I don't really go with that, but like it should have been better. It should have been better. If they're doing this for fans, it should have been better. All right, moving on, moving on, moving on, moving on. Yeah, there's a comparison to the previous Cosmos. He's definitely not as action worthy and ready as the original, but hey, he's there. And I know someone's gonna point at like big hollow arms, like, hey, get over it. It's what, jeez. All right, so they did officially announce that they are reissuing Maverick now that Top Gun's sequel is actually out and actually did extremely well. The volleyball accessory seems to be missing this time. Don't know what happened to that. Could we take out some of this like battle worn look? Because like if you're gonna do a re-release of the toy and you're going to intentionally make changes to the toy because the volleyball is missing, and they did acknowledge that they updated the packaging so it had the correct date on it for the release of the movie. Could you please give us like a cleaner version of this jet? This is why I didn't buy the jet in the first place, because it doesn't look cool. It looks dirty. It looks like no one has washed the thing in years. So that's the only part that kind of bugged me. Is like if you're gonna do a second run of it, change it up a little bit. Maybe like give us something a little bit nicer than before. All right, and they did show off some Transformer Red stuff as well. So we just talked about Transformers Red on this channel. It was funny to me. Is like they brought these out and they said, "Oh, hey, look, you're gonna get to this." I think this is the first time anyone outside the company has seen the closed box packaging for Red. A few hours earlier, someone leaked the new wave of Red figures, so I think even they were not aware that that had happened. All right, so Thundercracker's fine. It's just a repaint of Starscream. Uh, yeah, there's nothing really to say about that one. All right, okay, so the Prime figures continue, and again, I said it. This is where Red really shines. Those Transformers Prime characters that are really hard to do in toy form as transforming. This looks fantastic as an action figure of that Optimus Prime. It looks great. I think the first edition did a fantastic job of getting a transforming figure that looked screen accurate, but this is going to be a lot cheaper than that toy is now. Yeah, and it also has the Matrix in it. It's the different style of Matrix that show had. Good attention to detail there. And we also had the Megatron to go with it, who looks super, super cool. Really, really nice. Really, really nice looking. Again, this is where Red shines. I think this is where Red should stick to. Characters that are popular but can't really be done as transforming figures accurately. And then we got the last reveal, which was the only one that we could pre-order today, and it is Shattered Glass Slicer. Well, it's Shattered Glass Wheeljack, but it is actually a low-key slicer because it does have a Decepticon symbol on it rather than a purple Autobot logo. And yeah, I really like Slicer as as a Euro action master. The blue looks great. The vehicle mode looks like it's really slick in these colors. Really do like it. I'm not, admittedly, a fan of how much black is going on in the robot mode. I don't mind getting rid of the gray arms because that is a little bit weird. That would be a little bit too many colors going on, and it just doesn't look as good as the black. What I don't like is the lack of blue on the chest. He's got that one blue square, and then the rest of the chest is completely black. And I'm just not getting enough of the slicer blue out of the deco. It looks like a black Wheeljack wearing blue boots is what it looks like. Like the slicer deco just like stops once he reaches the knees. Again, it is a case of Hasbro had an option of doing it more accurately. They chose not to, and I'm not entirely sure why they chose to do that. It's a little bit frustrating. Now, you could probably have seen Slicer coming at some point, especially in the Shattered Glass line, I don't think what anyone expected was for it to come with a red redeco of Fast Track, which was really out of left field. And this is an interesting one. So they made a big deal about this figure because it actually has like its big weapon form, and it can still form like the spear for Black Zarak if you don't want to use the spear he came with. I don't know why you wouldn't want to use the spear he came with. The spear he came with is great. The spear mode for Fast Track is at best a nice little extra. You know, it's not the best, not the best. So it is what it is. But what is cool about this, and I do love how it looks. The red, the black, and the pink, I think actually looks like really vicious. I really like how it looks. But the cool part about it is the fact that it is specifically done to replicate Action Master Slicer's buggy armor that he could form, that came with him. It's not entirely accurate. Of course, it's not. It should be much, well, obviously, it should be much larger. It doesn't so much look like his battle buggy that he had that formed like an exosuit. It looks more like a go-kart, really. Uh, but it's nice that they tried. It's nice they tried to include it. It's nice they tried to throw a little bit of homage to like the full Slicer package. This does mean that I will not accept a universe where we do not have a Action Master Thundercracker done from the Earthrise mold that does not include a version of Six Gun with an actual like to actually form like his super garish armor. And also Hasbro, I'm begging you, like this. Look at this is where I don't get this. Like the deco just stops. Like the blue is so nice, and then it just stops and turns completely black. And like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why didn't you just paint the chest blue? It's a weird. It's weird. Like it looks nice, but it's weird. But yeah, like please, Hasbro, if you're gonna do the recall, if you do Action Master Thundercracker at this point and actually like give us these Euro Action Masters more often, you gotta get the paint right. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't half and half us. Get it. Make it accurate because it's likely the only time we're gonna get it, right? So make it accurate the one time. Yeah, the pre-order is already up for this one. Everything else is not happening just yet. Yeah, that's the cover. This was, God, this was not good. So he brought in Jackpot. He brought in Jackpot, and he said, if you got Jackpot, then you can have 2 Action Masters. Oh, God, the cringe. Ah, the cringe. It's not cool. This doesn't make it cool. Yes, we can count to 2. Thank you very much. We can count. There's 2 Action Masters. Thank you. But that's going to be it for the reveals. Yeah, so let's see here. So we got what's the final total? So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Technically 8 figures that we had already seen before, and 3 of those are red figures that we had just seen this morning. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. 5 figures that were completely new to us. I mean, I will give them partial credit for the 3 red figures. How about that? So let's call it like a draw between Leakers and Hasbro for this episode, and we're gonna call it there. Yeah, it was actually a pretty good one. Lots of good surprises and lots nice little bits of insight in between, like little cringy moments. I still think no one on this panel is a natural host. I think you need like a natural host to kind of pull everyone together a little bit. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me opinionate on another drop of Transformer news. What are you looking forward to the most? And then for everyone who didn't say Cosmos, which one are you looking forward to the most? So for me, it's the Cosmos. It's the Slicer. Maybe, and then Override naturally. But yeah, let me know what you thought. and I will see you next time.
Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.